Hi, this is Cecilia from Tarot by Cecilia, and this is your weekly tarot guidance for the week of May the 30th through June the 5th of 2016. You know, as I look at all these cards for this week, and I always talk about whatever's going on astrologically, just the basic things. The only thing we have going on this week that I can see is a new moon in Gemini, and that is on the 4th. Now, what's really nice here is that there's been so much of an energy shift. Mercury's now direct. Now, the next time I go to do this, we'll have I think Mercury entering, not Taurus, Gemini finally, bit going back to its home sign. And so things will really be changing. Communication will be going much better. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here, because what I like here that I see this week is a change in your mental outlook. Yes. Okay. After that full moon in Sagittarius, it wasn't as much the full moon as it was everything else that was happening around it, with Mars and Mercury. And there was just so much going on, and it was more than a soul could bear. But it was just energy, and it passed. And there is this shift from all that fear, anxiety, and self-doubt to, I think I can, and hopes and dreams and wishes. So it's a really beautiful thing. It's all about your mental state, okay, and how far you can get with patience and how you view things. All right. I really, really like this. This shows me a good shift for you personally this week. Some of it is in your outer world, but a lot of it's in your inner world. And, decisions about how you feel about the universe itself, what you wish to take on in your life, how you want to lead your life. Okay. This is really, approaching like a big soul time. And how do you look at things? All right. There's a saying about, the cup being half full or half empty, and how do you perceive it? And the truth is, and I've read this somewhere before, the cup can always be refilled. Remember that, okay? So always, always be positive. It is not the easiest thing sometimes, but this shift in mental attitude, I'm telling you, it goes from this oh dear me to, wow, I wonder if that could happen. Finally starting to think about some things and realizing that, yes, you have accomplished a lot and that you can have more. So, success awaits you. It's up to you to make the decisions. Maybe take some time out to reflect. And if you meditate, meditate. Things of that nature. It would appear that a door may be opening for you this week, perhaps at the time of the new moon, okay? This is in a very positive way. It's like finally receiving something that you need. There's a fresh start in here and a much more carefree feeling. Very exciting feeling around this. Now, there has been for quite some time around this issue, all right, these feelings of restrictions. So, I'm a little bit curious about this because, all right, we still have, Saturn retrograde up until, I think, August 13th. All right. I can't help but think that there's still something there, but you know something now. You know something. You know you're going forward. You know you're going to have a new beginning. But whatever it is, it must take a couple of months to play this out. All right, whatever it is. Because we've always talked about reaching the solstice and then, going forward. And by the way, June, we're talking June here. We're into June now. We have talked about June for so long. So, your beliefs are very important. They're very important in your review of your decisions, okay? And there's a lot of, I want to say, creativity in your choices, in your new beginnings. And it's not just a feeling of being carefree. It's that daring, daring to dream, daring to wish, daring to just blow the lid off of things and get going. Because you're getting so close now. Next week when we do this, Mercury will have left shadow. And like I said, by the 12th, it goes into Gemini. So you're really, you're going to see this happening and watch as your mental state improves day by day. Less retrograde, more clarity, less fog, more clarity, really feeling enlightened about relationships, okay? Some, they did not work out. It's okay. There's a real moving on here finally taking place, like dealing with it, like truly dealing with it, eliminating it from your life, looking at things in a more realistic fashion, okay? Perhaps you stayed too long in something where you should not have because you weren't willing to look at the truth. But that's it now, okay? It's this is a beautiful mental shift for so many of you. So you're really looking at this now. You're understanding, and it's all water under the bridge. So don't beat yourself up. You can't take that back. You can't get back those years where you stayed in something where you shouldn't have. But you can definitely go forward. And you have that solid base on which to build. All right. Stability is your key thing now in life. And I saw something floating around on the internet. I wish I had it in front of me to say, because I really don't like it. I don't believe in it verbatim the way it was written. And it was saying to stop telling people that they can't have a relationship unless they're good with themselves first or something. But the way it was worded was so wrong. All right. And what tends to happen is that people want relationships so bad that they stay in ones that they do not belong in. Okay. And maybe later down the line, they learn that lesson and they learn to make those choices differently. But it really is truly important to build from a solid base for yourself and yourself alone. I mean, when you have a relationship, you want to be with someone who's willing to be seen with you, who cares about what happens to you, who loves you just the way you are. Someone who's your equal, someone who will be by your side, not 10 feet in front of you, not 10 feet behind you, not off over here, not ignoring you, all right? Someone who is your equal. And this is a rare thing. It's hard to find, but it really is as it should be. And what I feel about it is that when two people are good with themselves, okay, you can need one another, you can help one another, you can balance each other out and be compatible and support one another, and there's give and take, but it's balanced and it's fair. And it's the way it should be. No one person should be so needy, and no one should be using someone else. So, how I got off on all this, I don't know, but I think it just needed to be said because it really truly is important to know your self-worth and not just think that you need to be in a relationship. Because whether you're alone or you're with someone, how you feel about you is what's most important, okay? Because then when you feel good about you, everything with them, if they feel good about themselves, you're going to have a great thing going and you're really going to be able to enjoy it. Ooh, plans to break out by the end of the month, all right? I don't know what you're doing, but you're really working on getting this together now, okay? Just making it fair. This is awesome, all right? It involves change. This is a real breakthrough for you. It's a real victory for you. And a lot of it is a victory over the crap that the universe has thrown at you in the last 5 years, Just so tired of that battle and beating your head against the wall and not getting anywhere. Finally, and it's like, because I see it here now, and I forgot to mention it at the beginning, for those in the Northern Hemisphere, in the United States, this weekend, Monday, the week starts with Monday, on this tarot reading, is Memorial Day. So it's a holiday here, okay? And that's what I see. So many of you, especially at the beach if you can be. If it's warm enough, it's a great holiday to be at the shore. I know I've always loved going. And if not, by the water, somewhere nice, enjoying your day. There is a significant thing here about no matter what hemisphere you're in, okay, and what season you're experiencing, to go out and enjoy Mother Nature at her finest. All right, because at this point, you have earned this. Okay, can't emphasize that enough. You've triumphed over so much. Are you all the way there yet? No. Mm-mm. But boy, are you feeling better this week. It's just, I'm telling you, it's those energies. They're really rough there for a bit. So, now, taking care, plans around the home, making practical things. I want to say even doing things like repairs, yard work. It's all par for the course, working on your budget. This isn't geared too much toward financial, but a little bit of financial planning involved. Could even just be some simple stuff, maybe how much you're going to allot for the groceries every week. But there's definite, this wanting to move forward with changes. You are on top of, I don't know how else to explain it. It's like you're on top of a very big transition in your life, possibly the biggest one you've ever experienced, okay? No matter how old you are, because this one helps you bring an end to the struggles, an end to some of the confusion, and, it's like positivity returns. And you know how some of us have been talking about this, like in my group, that lack of sunshine, lack of vitamin D, where everyone was missing their vitality. You're just kind of like blah, all right? So it's that sense of starting to feel better, even if you don't know 100% what's coming and where you're going. But let's see if we can find out. I'm going to put down some more cards. I mean, there is definitely this chomping at the bit, wanting to do more, wanting to go forward. And I think you're in a pretty good place now to do that with some things. Okay? Definitely a reason to celebrate. Okay? Not just for those, in the United States. So there's something I see here all over in these extra cards, and that is generosity. Okay? Now, one of the things you have to remember is to be sure. And when I talk generosity, a lot of times I often refer to it more so in time, not necessarily monetary, that type of thing, but how much of yourself are you giving? You have to remember that you're on the mend after a very difficult time. Okay, so, that child of yours that always gets what they want and always has their hand out and needs help, thinks you're First National Bank of Mom. It's kind of like the week to be saying, not this week, or half as much, whatever. I can't do it. Because you're still in survival mode. You're working on your security, you're working on whatever, and you have a vision. You're like really like right there, like so close to that beginning and feeling of security. What I like here is that, see, it goes back to the shift in attitude at the beginning. Is that you've been feeling for a long time, some of you it's been 5-6 years, maybe a little longer, really cheated out of some things, okay? But even with all the losses, there's just part of you that feels more exhilarated than you have in a long, long time. So things are changing, but be sparing with yourself, with what you give of yourself. Like I said, not just finances. There are some out there, including myself, who have a tendency to overgive to others and in the end feel depleted. And it's important to remember that you're on the mend now. And you can be really, really good if you allow yourself the time to heal. okay, and kind of scale that part back a little bit. So, it's a very interesting week. Very interesting. I cannot wait to see what comes up for the rest of the weeks during this month, because truly we have waited for this month for a very long time. So, I want to thank you all for listening, and I'll see you here again next week. Take care.